Every agent receives the same factor task on the same repository. The same model, the same tool permissions, the same test suite. Only the context architecture changed. What I found was not what I expected. The simple pattern won. The most intuitive pattern lost. And stacking all 5 patterns, the thing every engineer wants to do, was worse than doing nothing at all. Your agent does not need more context. It needs a cleaner context path. 5 patterns cut 5 forms of waste. I tested each one alone, and then together. Most failed, and the ones that worked teach us the real lesson. Every agent receives the same factor task on the same repository. The same model, the same tool permissions, the same test suite. Only the context architecture changed. What I found was not what I expected. The simple pattern won. The most intuitive pattern lost. And stacking all 5 patterns, the thing every engineer wants to do, was worse than doing nothing at all. Here's the honest read before I show you any number. We ran 5 patterns-based arms against no-op baseline. 3 of the 6 arms cost more than no work at all. 2 cost significantly more. And the pattern you try first, retrieval, was the worst performer. And every layer at once, which is what every guide recommends, lost to the control group. One disclosure before the numbers. Every trial ran on DeepSeek, and every dollar figure you are about to see is priced at DeepSeek's published rates. 28 cents per million input tokens, roughly 3 cents per million cache reads, 42 cents per million output. On a frontier model, the same token counts cost 7 to 24 times more. The absolute dollars are not the point. The ratio between arms are, and every arm is measured on the identical scale. And the limits stated plainly. 5 trials per arm, 1 task, 1 repository, 1 model. Baseline cost along swung from about 5 cents to about 11 cents across its own 5 runs, a 2-time spread. Here's the uncomfortable part. At this sample size, not one of the cheaper arms moves its median outside the spread. Cache, map, graph, and prune all land inside the control group's own noise band. The only 2 arms that clearly escape it, retrieval and combined, escape it upward at higher cost, so treat the cuts as directional and treat the losses as the answer. Cache reuse cuts repeat cost, but it cannot rescue bad context. It rewards a stable prefix. Our test showed it. Cache cut and cache input 15%, but raised the overall cost 7%. The cut from fewer uncached tokens was eaten by cache read volume. Put stable tool definitions, system rules, and repository instructions before violate task data. On the Claude API, the cache is verified through cache creation input tokens and cache read input tokens. As of mid-2026, Anthropic offers 2 TTL tiers, 5 minutes at standard cache pricing and 1 hour at 2 times the cache write cost. On DeepSeek, automatic prefix caching runs at 97% plus hit rates and is free. Our manual cache arm was largely redundant against it. A map gives the agent a route before tool use starts. Our map arm cut uncached input 18% and cost 16%. It was the second best performer. Structure anchoring is a compact, stable map that names key modules, entry points, interfaces, and ownership boundaries. Either documents a related repository map method using tree-sitter and a graph ranking algorithm. The map gives the agent a structured picture of the error directory before it started editing, reducing speculative file reads and uncached input by 18%. Graph data removes each discovery out of the agent loop. Our graph arm cut uncached input 35%, the deepest cut of any arm, but nearly double tool calls. Net cost cut 16%. Deepwire parses code with tree-sitter, builds a dependency graph before the agent starts. and serves graph queries through 23 MCP tools. Current headline claim 19% cheaper and 36% faster. Our reproduction with a graph-based pre-computation strategy found the same dynamic. Cheap structural queries replace expensive file reads. Here's the key insight. Graph doubled its tool calls. Under any normal monitoring, that looks like failure. But each tool call was a cheap grep returning a few hundred tokens. Each grep it avoided was an expensive file read returning thousands. The arm with the most tool calls had the second lowest cost. Tool calls are not the metric that matters. Token weighted cost is the metric that matters. Same benchmark reports that deployer without workflow guidance performed worse than no deployer. The agent paid MCP overhead and did not use the graph first. Our graph arm succeeded because the agent had a clear decision rule: run dependency queries before file read. See, the graph is not a magic layer. The agent needs a clear call rule. Our graph nearly doubled tool calls to cut input by a third. That trade-off was profitable. Prune only after you define a quality guard, but when it works, it dominates. Our prune arm cuts median cost by 31%, the largest single pattern win in the dataset. Relevance pruning removes low-value candidate context before prompt assembly. The prune arm decided the target set: 1 core, 27 subclasses, 52 callers, 1 test file, before reading anything. Then, it never loaded a file outside that set. The result? Median uncached input 44,094, 45% below baseline. Median cost 0.0635, 31% below baseline. The cheapest token is the one never sent, and this is the one result I would bet on outside this benchmark, because the mechanism is not model specific. Every other pattern makes loading smarter. Pruning makes loading smaller. Smarter loading still pays for the tokens it loads. Smaller loading does not. That's why it was the only arm whose advantage held in every single one of its 5 trials. Prune cost 43% more tool calls than baseline to achieve this. That extra grip, the upfront decision about what matters, is the whole game. 70 tool calls, most of them cheap grips, to avoid loading 600 irrelevant files is the best trade in the dataset. This is not retrieval. Retrieval chooses which detail to fetch. Pruning starts with candidate already found and removes low-value material before the request is assembled. Keep a fail-safe for low confidence. Our filter was conservative. It only excluded files that could not possibly need API error changes. No failure across the 5 trials. Retrieval was the worst arm we tested. Worst cost, worst time, worst cache volume. The most intuitive pattern. Load no file until needed. Discard after use. Was the most expensive. 45% more expensive than the baseline. Retrieval-based context loading starts with minimal context, ranks candidates, and loads detail on demand. But the read-edit forget loop has a hidden cost. Forgetting a file does not remove it from the bill. Each of 81 files became its own round trip, and every round trip resends the accumulating conversation transcript. The arm designed to minimize context transmitted the most. This is the single most useful correction in the dataset. The read-edit forget loop is what most engineers assume is optimal. Load on demand, discard after use. But LLM APIs don't bill by file, they bill by request, and every request carries the entire conversation so far. The retrieval arm made the most requests with the most accumulated context. It was the worst possible strategy for a task with many small scattered changes. Retrieval move cost to the moment of need. It also add a new failure path. But on a task where you know what you need, one load upfront is cheaper than 81 round trips. Alright, one rule ties all 5. Pay for context only when it adds task value. But they are not all equal. Here's the real order from real data. Rule first always. Deciding what not to load before you load anything was the only change that paid in every trial. 31% of cost, and the largest single effect in the study. Then map and the graph, which both landed near 16%. Real, but inside the noise at 5 trials. Cache is a pricing question, not an architecture question. And retrieval goes last, only when the corpse is large and the relevant fraction is small. On our task, it was the worst option available. No single layer wins alone. But more importantly, stacking all layers does not win either. The combined arm applying all 5 patterns was 23% more expensive than baseline. Pattern setup costs are real. Overlapping patterns, map and the graph, both analyzing structure, cache and retrieval working at the cost purposes, compound overhead instead of benefit, commas, context, root research reinforces why smaller. Higher signal token sets matter. Start with a ledger. Count input, cache reads, tool calls, file reads, cost, time, and task success. Measure before you optimize. You cannot know what is waste until you measure it against the baseline. Next, prune aggressively. A deterministic allow list of what to load before you touch a file. This was the single highest leverage change. Then add a compact structural map, a single tree command or either style repo map. Keep it under 200 tokens. Then pre-compute dependencies. Run grep queries before file reads. Trade tool calls for input tokens, the most profitable exchange in our dataset. Then cache the stable prefix, but only if your provider charges for uncached tokens more than cached ones. Retrieval last, and only when the corpus is large. On our benchmark with 81 known files, retrieval was the worst choice. Use it when the needle is in a haystack. The order is deliberate. Each step attacks a larger cost term than the one after it. Since 2025, context engineering has been formalized as compaction, structured nodes, and sub-agent architectures. Add patterns in this order, ranked by measured waste reduction, not by how sophisticated they sound. A context window is a budget, not a storage bin. Give each token a job. Verify each layer with the same task. Measure against a real baseline, because 3 of our 6 arms were worse than no work at all. Finally, if you find this tutorial helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.